Welcome to today's Seiyokan Saturday. In our continuing pursuit of the 7th kyu level, blue belt with a stripe in my dojo, at the 7th level we're putting kick-punch combinations together. Now we already have kicking and punching combinations in kata. We have our block, punch, punch, kick, return, punch in seisan, as well as anaku. But the punch, typically in these, precedes the kick. Now we're using kicks from a longer range and then kicking and closing the gap as we approach to throw our punch. So it sort of reverses. Plus, in the kata, primarily we're using either side kicks or front kicks, but we have a plethora, a variety, a multitude of other potential kick-punch combinations. We're still using just the reverse punch to follow up because it is linear, it's strong, it gets us right there. So our first technique from Heikodachi is the roundhouse kick with a reverse punch. Mawashigeri Gyakusuki. Now done from here, it's not technically a reverse punch, but we're kicking with the right leg and then punching left, kicking with the left leg, punching right. And remember, we have two versions of the roundhouse kick. We have the classical or traditional, where we're kicking with the ball of the foot. There's a counter pull in the upper body as the hip goes, this kind of a motion into the kick. And as we land, the hip is coming down and we throw the punch. So while it's not technically a reverse punch, we're learning core control, balance control from this position. So from the yoi, we throw the roundhouse, step, reverse punch. Roundhouse, reverse punch. Mawashigeri Gyakusuki for all intents and purposes. Okay? Same thing from Kibarachi. Now in Kibarachi, we might throw, just for variety, let's say we're going to do the longer version of the roundhouse kick, or the sparring version, where instead of hitting with the ball of the foot, we're going to reach a little farther and hit with the top of the foot. Okay? So, Kibarachi, same basic idea. Long roundhouse, step back to the horse, punch. Long roundhouse, back to the horse, punch. Trying to control balance, utilize hip, rotation, all of the good things that we've talked about in the past. Okay? Then we go in motion. Front stance, low block. Now we start with the classical, just like the same progression that I talked about last week with front kick, reverse punch. Same progression here. We start in the regular kata-ized classical karate version. Key here, just worth noting, as we throw the roundhouse kick and step, I'm landing in a very temporary shikodachi as I transition into the punch. In kata, we very much step, block, punch, but it's because we're stepping, kicking forward, and then stepping back away from the opponent, which we could do here as well, but we already do that in kata. So the difference here is I'm advancing. I'm using the kick to actually advance on and close the distance, as opposed to kicking where I might grab the opponent and then pull him into the punch afterwards. So the roundhouse kick, stepping forward, short roundhouse or long, take your pick, either one. The short roundhouse facilitates the chambering of the hand a little better than the long roundhouse, and it also helps the rechamber of the hip, or the rotation of the hip, is a little more natural from this one. So, kick, punch, kick, punch. Mawashigeri, Gyakusuki, Mawashigeri, Gyakusuki. And Mawate, repeat. Next, we put it into that free motion. So my hands are alive, I'm moving my feet, I'm presuming at this point that we know how to lunge, drag, shuffle. So we're doing all of that and then going into the technique. Hands are alive, we're moving, kick, punch, come back alive, kick, punch, come back alive, and so forth. Okay? Last evolution is to do this on the bag using impact. It will change a little bit. Okay, so as I kick the bag with a roundhouse, it moves this way. My punch is going to be here. So we have to use a little bit more timing and live sense, as well as the addition of the impact on the bag. Same idea though, we're live. Then we switch. And so forth. Mawashigeri, Gyakusuki. Roundhouse kick, followed by the reverse punch or the cross, if you will, in boxing. That's it for today's 7th kyu lesson. As always, like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff, click the bell, whatever. But mostly, most importantly, until next week, as always, keep practicing.